Everyone wants to take their business, their skills, to the next level. Small and mid-sized business owners have exceptional insight into how to do this. They endure and thrive because they find ways to overcome the challenges that come their way, and they can teach us valuable lessons to apply to our own companies and lives. Stephen Nooner, founder and owner of Alkali, a company with a unique process that helps businesses more effectively buy and manage their insurance programs. And Bob Gibbons, builder of Riata Commercial Realty, a real estate advisor and tenant advocate, are two prominent Metroplex businessmen who, along with their weekly guests, will ask their and your probing questions, finding impactful solutions that will help you reach for the next level. Here are your hosts, Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons.
Welcome to The Next Level, conversations that propel business. I'm your host, Stephen Nooner.
And I'm Bob Gibbons, the other host.
And we've got a really exciting guest for you today. I'm excited to introduce our next leveler. That's what you are once you are on the show. Philip Banks is the president of Legacy Travel, and Legacy Travel is one of the top travel agencies in the country with numerous awards to back that up. They have offices in Plano and Chicago and have been in business for 27 years. If you want to learn more about Philip or Legacy Travel, please visit legacytravel.com.
I'm glad to see somebody has a URL that you don't have to spell this week.
Praise the Lord.
Always spelling.
Yes.
Well, welcome. Glad you're here with us, Philip.
Thank you so much. I've been looking forward to this.
Good. Well, we always start off with the wisdom of others, and our wisdom this week is actually a quote that you provided us from Mark Twain. And it says, "I have found that there ain't no surer way to find out whether you like people or hate them than to travel with them."
Is that Mark Twain's inflection?
I was trying.
And that is, it's so true. Of course, my company, we put vacations together. And one thing that makes a vacation even better is when you travel as a group. You get friends together. But what I tell everybody is, only invite people you like. Because if you don't like them in the U.S., you're really not going to like them for 7 nights in a foreign country on a cruise ship. It's really going to get bad then. So only invite people that you're pretty sure you like on these group trips with you.
True story for another time. We have lost some friends on a really nice vacation.
Oh, no.
Well, I wonder how many trips cause divorces. We probably shouldn't talk about that either.
No.
Moving right along.
They do, though.
Let's go to a fun fact. So I just curious by this, Philip. You can travel pretty much anywhere in your business, I'm sure. You know all the great places. Where's your favorite place to travel?
I've got a couple, so I'll cheat and do two. Fairly close by, Riviera Maya, which is just south of Cancun. I love it. Great hotels, beautiful beaches. That part of Mexico, the knock it gets is that the price. The price is pretty affordable. Yeah. So therefore, people think that it's not a good value, but it's amazing. The hotels are newer. It's a great area to go to. We have trouble when we have repeat clients who went to Riviera Maya, and now they want to go somewhere in the Caribbean, and we always say, okay, you can go. We'll put you there, but you gotta be prepared. You're going to pay more. It's not going to be as nice. That's what you did in Riviera Maya. So be prepared. And even when we say it, we'll still get the call in destination saying, "This isn't as nice as you had before, and I paid more." Like, we told you that was going to happen. So be careful.
But
go ahead.
But you get to sound fancy telling all your friends you're going to the Caribbean. I guess.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's the thing. That's the thing. People say, "I don't want to go back to Riviera Maya. I want to go to XYZ Island," and it's like, okay, get ready to pay, and they're not going to be quite as nice, and the food's not going to be quite as good, and the hotel's older. The other one is London. Now that's a whole different ballgame. Where Riviera Maya is a great value, London's really expensive, but I love it. I just absolutely love it. We are having our first, I'm calling it President's Club, and it's for my top producing agents, and I'm taking them on a trip with me. Had a buddy tell me, I told him about my idea, and he said, "So you think traveling with you is a prize? I'm not sure. I'm not sure you have this figured out real well." But I am taking them on a trip. This is our first time to do it. We'll do it annually, and I picked London as being where we're going to this year. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, cool. Well, let's just get right into the meat of things, and I'm just going to open up with the elephant in the room, which is a lot of people think that travel agents are dead. And everything's being done online through, pick your alphabet soup of names, Expedia, et cetera, Orbitz, whatever. But that's not true, is it?
No, it's not. The internet has affected every business out there. And the people, the Expedias and those guys in the industry, we call those OTAs, online travel agencies. They've done a great job marketing. I mean, great job marketing, and they kind of make it sound like that the traditional travel agent is no longer around, but they are. We are a strong business still. A significant portion of vacation travel is done through travel agents, and it makes sense because it's when you talk about the vacation travel, it's a big ticket item usually, and a lot of people just don't aren't going to be comfortable writing that check without double checking with someone who's been there, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who books hundreds of vacations a year.
Well, and also, I mean, on those online sites, and you can sometimes, those places don't always look like they do in the pictures and stuff like that. So having the experience of someone that's been there and traveling there and getting direct feedback is...
Yeah, and it's getting uglier, I'm afraid.
Really?
They had I won't say which one, but one of the OTAs that came out where, when you put in that you want to go to XYZ place and the hotels come up, apparently now that's being... the order that comes up now is based on how much they pay
revenue,
how much they pay to be placed in that order, and stuff. So yeah, you're exactly right. You're going to have some issues. Another thing that happens, and it's math, is that if you own a hotel, you own a resort, you're not going to book 100% of your rooms. You're going to book 107, 106, 108% if you can, because you're going to have people who are going to cancel. Well, sometimes they don't. And so in the contracts with the big online travel agencies, it says if you can't fulfill our customer, you've got to put them on a similar or better property, and that's what happens. So it's if people are going to get moved, a lot of times it's going to be those type customers because they know that it's in the contract, and the online travel agencies aren't going to get that upset about it. Where I know these general managers, and they're not going to move my people because they got to look me in the eye next time I'm down there and explain to me why my people got moved. So it's a relationship business, and there are things that we do and advantages we have that the online guys can't touch.
So let's talk about it from the user side. So who's the ideal client for you, and how do you distinguish the kind of people that are willing to use somebody like you versus just sort of do-it-yourselfers online?
Well, the first thing is there is a segment of the population where part of the vacation, part of the fun is booking it themselves. And for them, God bless you. I hope you have a blast. I mean, I hope it's fun. And they also know things might go wrong, and that's kind of part of the fun for them. You're going to have the story of, we were in Madrid and the hotel, it wasn't what we thought it was, and we ended up having to do this, and it's kind of the fun. Now, it's not a big portion of the population, but for those guys, no bitterness. You shouldn't use a travel agent. If that is what you love to do it, have fun with it. It's great. But for someone who is looking at the vacation as being a time to get away, to recharge the batteries, even more important, if you're doing it to connect with the people you're going with and you're wanting it to be a great experience, that's when you're going to use a travel agent, and it's going to be someone who values the time they spend on these trips. These are important trips. This is important to reconnect with family, with friends, with loved ones. So that's going to be our client, the one who values these vacations.
And when competing against other travel agents in town, not the OTAs, as you said, how do you guys distinguish yourselves from your competitors there?
Well, I invest a lot in my employees. My guys travel more than the typical travel agent does.
I saw something like 4 or 5 trips a year.
Correct. Like right
That's
now,
incredible.
I've got 2 of them who are in Canada doing the Rocky Mountaineer train, which is a fantastic, it's a fantastic luxury train. They're up there right now doing that. So once you've been with me a year, I try and get you on 4 or 5 trips a year. One of those is going to be probably a training conference we do, but other than that, it's going to be either vacations that we provide or it's going to be a training trip. So that's a big one, is that my guys really go out there, they see it, and it's not just that they, like I mentioned earlier, it's not just that they are getting the the information about the destinations, they're connecting with the general managers of these properties. They're getting to know the suppliers. So each week, it happened yesterday, every Thursday, we send out a list of who's traveling to what resort, and we send it to the resorts and say, okay, here comes, Bob and Jane Doe, and they're coming, watch out for my people. And the thing is that we'll put in little personal notes in there because it may be a deal that Tara knows the GM, or we'll put in a little side note saying, take special care of these guys, watch out for them, and they remember my guys because they're there fairly often.
Now, how do you follow up with your customers after the trip, or do you?
Yeah, it's huge. That's another one of our advantages. We contact or attempt to contact every one of the people when they return from their trip. We don't get 100% of them returning the phone calls, but we'll make 2 or 3 phone calls to get the feedback, and we're probably getting about 70% right now. And that is so important because it's not just that we are wanting to know how that client's trip went for them, but we're also putting that in our database. And then each month, our office assistant is sending out a notice to the agent saying, okay, the report's ready. They go in, and it's an alphabetical order by resort name and cruise line name, and they read the comments of every single passenger, not just their passengers, but every single one of the passengers that Legacy Travel did, and that way they can kind of keep up with what's happening. And we've had it before. We had I won't say the name of the company, but we had a resort that was doing fairly well, and all of a sudden we got 3 or 4 or 5 bad reviews in a row. And we're like, let's watch this and see what's happening. And sure enough, we had to cut them off because turns out the GM had changed, quality went down, and it was it was tough. But my guys caught it pretty quick, and we moved bookings and got people to better resorts.
That's awesome. Regarding your business, what are you most excited about right now?
My employees.
Yeah.
I've got great team. Like I said, we invest a lot in them. We hire people.
Growing team, right?
A growing team. We get people who are new to the industry. We train them ourselves, and I hire on personality, so they're fun. We got one who just started a month ago, and it's so rewarding seeing the other agents jump in and help. And because my guys have such great personalities and fun people, they have no problem helping the new person, and it's just rewarding to see.
And where do you guys usually find your people?
It's a moving target. Right now, a company that we're using, a couple of them, we'll do one called Indeed.com, ZipRecruiter, and Facebook and LinkedIn are ones that we've been using here recently.
Anyone more successful than the others?
We've been having a little bit, Indeed here recently. Facebook did well for us. Well, actually, what happened when we did Facebook, we did the demographics, and it came up to a couple of our agents. The ad came up on their sites.
Oh, wow.
And they liked it, the ad, and we ended up getting one of their friends who we hired, and it's been fantastic.
That's awesome.
So it was very, very good. One of the sorority sisters.
Wow. When you get someone, same for us. When a team member refers someone, they don't want crazy people around usually. So.
Right.
Never hire crazy. That's the motto. Okay, well, we're going to take a break. But when you see people leaving your company and you realize it's because of you, what do? We'll talk about it when we come back.
We'll find out on the other side.
And now, Confessions of a Recovering Landlord.
This is Bob Gibbons with Riata Commercial Realty, and I am your recovering landlord. After 20 years as a landlord, I now use that experience only for the benefit of companies that lease or buy office buildings and warehouses. Today's confession: knowledge is power. We all negotiate from a position of power and strength, or at least we want to. In any negotiation, the party with the most knowledge probably has the upper hand. And landlords count on this being the case whenever you're negotiating a lease, because most landlords are professional real estate investors, and they hire professional leasing agents and property managers. Landlords are in the market every day negotiating leases, while tenants probably only negotiate 1, maybe 2 leases every few years. So tenants feel outgunned. Don't let landlords have all the power. As a former landlord for 20 years, I understand how landlords think and what motivates them. So let me put that knowledge and experience to work on your side of the negotiation. To learn more, contact me at texastenantrep.com. Again, that's texastenantrep.com.
Have you started making plans to take your business to the next level in 2016? Hi, I'm Stephen Nooner, founder and CEO of Alkali. We have a trademark process called the Empowered Advantage that enables CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs to more effectively buy and manage their insurance. Before sitting down to make your plans for the new year, here are just a few things to consider. Would you say that you have an actual insurance strategy, one that you can articulate, or have you just purchased a policy here and there over the years? If you have an insurance strategy, was it discussed under the pressure of a renewal deadline or considered earlier in the year to avoid fire drill decision making? If your answer was no to either of these questions, then you may not have the right partner on your team. Visit alkaliservices.com to contact us and take the next step to a bigger and better future.
Hi, I'm Mike Keeler. I'm president and owner of Powder Metallurgy Company. I have one bit of advice for Steve and Bob. Don't suck.
Welcome back to The Next Level, conversations that propel business. We are here with our guest, Philip Banks with Legacy Travel. He is a full-service international travel expert, and you can find him at legacytravel.com.
Not three L's, it's just legacytravel.com, Bob.
Hey, stop making fun of my speech impediments.
Hey, you got after me for my spelling, so. Hey, Philip, so looking back over the last 12 months, what would you say has been the biggest high for you?
Personally, the biggest high for me is we moved to a new house, which that in itself is pretty good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But the area, we moved from an area that really no one from our church lived in the area where we used to be, and now we're in an area where there are people from our church, and so they have things called a small group, and so now we've been able to join a small group, and we really wanted to be tied in more with our church, and this has been really great. It's been great. As a business owner, this may be a cop out, but you're the boss. So a lot of people have relationships and friends and that kind of stuff at work, and I'm the boss, so
you don't get that.
You don't really get so much of that.
You're not always sure if they're real, if they're there.
Right, I know, and so making the connections are so important, and getting these friends through church and making those connections has been something that I've really been needing and haven't been having. So we're very excited. In fact, last night we had men's group. We just been watching this series on. Last night was about raising daughters, and so it was good. About 5 or 6 of us got together and watched the video and discussed, and it was very, very good.
Cool. Anything you're wanting to do to take that to the next level? Anything you're?
Yeah, we've been asked to be like assistant or or backup leaders for the group. So my wife and I have decided that we are going to do that, and we're going to take up more of a leadership role in our small group and try and help it grow and be, even better than it is now. So
there's always a flip side to the high, which is a low. What has been a low for you in the last couple of years? Yeah,
my daughter had surgery. I guess it was last summer, and it was a pretty significant one. She'd been having back pain for years and years and years, and finally went to a guy in San Antonio. She goes to college in San Antonio, and it was kind of just to rule out stuff. And he was like, whoa, and showed the x-rays and ended up doing the spinal fusion and put 16 titanium screws in her back and fused 8 discs together.
You're kidding.
And so I think one thing that's hard for me is I didn't get as much information as I should have going into it, because I heard from a few friends who were like, oh, I did it, and the day after, you're so happy you did it, so much better. Right. Well, they did 2 discs. And that kind of stuff. And my daughter, that was not her experience. So she is still struggling with the recovery on that. And
she's in college.
She's in college and going through a lot of pain, and trying to go to school, trying to do rehab on the back, trying to do the PT stuff on the back, and it's tough. It's been tough. But last summer, we were down in San Antonio for 2 weeks after her surgery, and then we moved her back up with us, and we had to take care of her. I mean, she couldn't do anything for us. She couldn't lift 5 pounds.
I don't think there's anything worse than watching your child suffer.
It's horrible.
I can't imagine.
Absolutely horrible.
So sorry.
Switching gears a little bit, what would you say, back to your business, has been your biggest breakdown that's turned into a breakthrough?
Well, I would guess that. I guess maybe the way we hire, I guess it is that I had to realize what kind of person will work out well at the travel agency. And I think that took me having to look at myself and realizing that there's some faults with me and just having to accept them. As an example, now we have a real clear picture of what kind of person is going to succeed at legacy travel. But we also have a clear picture of maybe who isn't. And we have not had success bringing in people from other fields where they are almost taking like a pay cut to come to us. And that has not done well. I mean, I had some really talented people who came to us, and it just didn't work. I mean, I butted heads with them, and I think that part of the problem was that the attitude was almost that they were doing us a favor by coming to work at Legacy Travel. And I think maybe I know a different person to be able to handle that better than maybe I did, and I have been.
Did they think they were going to make it up by commissions or something?
Well, I think that what they were doing, they didn't like it, and they wanted to do something they loved. But then they get in there, and at first, when you first start with my company, the pay is going to be low at first. Now, once you're with me for a while, you can make good money. But at first, the pay is low, and I think there's some resentment. Even though you explain it to them up front, there's some resentment of the pay cut they took.
So when somebody says, "Hey, I love to travel, therefore I want to be a travel agent," is that a good plan or not?
It can be. It can be. I'm looking for personality. If they've got personality, and if I think that they can stick with it, the lifestyle is going to be ridiculous. I mean, you're talking about people who've been with me 3-4 years. Some of them, they're making pretty good money. They're traveling a lot all over the world.
And that's paid for.
Yeah. We'll pay for the vast majority of that, if not all of it. The other thing is that we invest a lot of money in benefits. We believe in benefits because I can't afford good employees. I've got to have great. I've got to have.
And where do those benefits come from?
Well, some of them are from Alkali, but we do other things too. I'll tell you about one I just did that I'm real happy with. I came up with it myself. We found a company that sells things like 401k and that stuff, and we told them we've already got 401k. We're covered. Can I hire you on an hourly basis to come in and meet with my staff individually and be a financial mentor for them? That's
awesome.
Because we meet with our guys every 8 weeks individually, and one thing I started asking about was their dream. What's your dream? What are what are we shooting for? And a lot of them had things like get out of debt, get rid of the college loans, save for a house, that kind of stuff. So we got these guys, and they're meeting with them, and they're going to helping them redo their budgets, helping them with their 401k choices, and they're there for them to answer any financial questions they got.
So you help them with their personal budgets?
We got this company.
They're doing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Legacy Travel pays for this company to meet with them.
Interesting.
And to help them with their personal budgets and to help them with their financial goals and stuff.
And Philip, they do take great care of their people in a number of ways, obviously. And to that, Philip, just on there for anyone who's listening to, there's a great book out by Matthew Kelly called The Dream Manager.
That's where I got it.
Is it really?
Yep, I read the book, and that's when I started asking the question of what's your dream? And how can we help? And so many of them were financial, and I'm like, I'm not really that great at the financial thing, and so we found this company, and they didn't do this. They just sold 401k, and they got with their lawyers and got the green light. Said, let's do it. And so we're paying the fee, and they are.
Well, I'm glad you found it. Sorry, I was the one I've probably given that book away a dozen times to different clients, because there are so many things. People think benefits are just health benefits and all that stuff, and they definitely add a lot of value. But there are ways that you can impact your employees that go far beyond that. And so kudos to you for doing that. It's really cool. I didn't know you were doing that. Where do you have to focus most to stay on track? Like in your business,
you personally,
like when you're running your business?
What do I need to focus on?
Or how do you manage your focus?
And I'm ADHD. And so for a long time, I fought that. And I finally had to say, I can't fight it. So when I have tasks to do, I will write them down on a piece of paper, and I'll go from one to another. I won't complete the first one. I'll set a timer, and I can do it for 10 minutes. And then I go to the next, and I go to the next, I go to the next. I use a list manager for that. And I used to just fight the war of trying to do this task until it's completed. Couldn't do it. Another thing I've started doing is if there's something that is gnawing at me, and it's work related, I just give into it and say, okay, I've got to go down that rabbit trail. I've got to see that to fruition because I'm not going to concentrate on this other stuff.
Scratch that itch.
Until I got to
get it done.
Otherwise, the work's going to suffer.
So give us three big insights that you've learned over the years owning your business.
The biggest insight, and I'm starting to sound like a broken record, and I do apologize about that. But employees are everything. The employees are my customers, are my personal customers. Now, the people who buy travel from us are their customers, and so I treat my employees like customers. Now, if they listen to this, they may be going, he's out of his mind. But I try to treat my employees like customers.
You don't have to tell them you're on the radio.
But that one, that one's big. Another thing that has been huge for my company's development is benchmarking. We've joined a group of other travel agencies. They don't compete; they're in other markets, but we get together 3 or 4 times a year, and we compare financials, and we do it through a moderator, and bounce ideas off each other, and it's really interesting. In fact, when you and I worked together on our new location, I went to that benchmarking and I looked at the average percentage of what everybody paid, and I was like, we are well within with this newer, better location, we're well within the percentages.
And this was after you moved to the more expensive location?
This is when we were moving. When I looked at how much it was going to be, I looked at the benchmarking and said, we're right in the middle there with this new thing. So this is well within the realm of possibility.
You passed the test, Bob.
I always know.
Philip, if we were sitting together 3 years from now and we're going to look back to today, what needs to happen in your life personally, professionally, for you to feel satisfied?
Personally, I want to better relationships. I want to improve the relationships that I currently have. I want to make more relationships with friends. I think personally that's important. That's a great goal. Professionally, I want my employees to succeed. It has been so great watching my employees buy houses, watch my employees, this may be more information, but I was in Riviera Maya here a couple years ago, and one of my employees comes up and she goes, we had all-inclusive, and she goes, do a tequila shot with me. And I'm like, oh, I don't do tequila shot. I've had
tequila shots.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not doing tequila shot. I've had bad experience in the past. Will not do it. She goes, I just pushed the button and paid off my last student loan, and I'm like, pour it. I'll do it. So it's great seeing these milestones, these great things that my employees are doing to be successful. So, if they're successful, I'm successful. So I want them to be successful.
That's outstanding, Michael. Philip, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed your thoughts. If you'd like to learn more about Legacy Travel, please go to legacytravel.com. And if you'd like to learn more about the show, please go to nextlevelshow.com, where you'll find today's conversation both on video and audio. And if you want to see everybody we've interviewed in the past or who's coming up in the future, you can do that there as well. And you can, of course, connect with us on social media.
If you heard someone today, if you heard something today that you wanted to share, someone that's planning on taking a trip, look him up.
Absolutely. He can make your wildest dreams come true. That's what it sounds like.
Have a great week.
Bye.
You have been listening to The Next Level, Conversations That Propel Business with Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons. Join us every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. for more prolific conversations that will take your business to the next level.